Hi. Hey,
Hi,
Shivon.
Shruthi. Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all good. Um, so I already gave a slight introduction about you. There's more to be said. Before that, let's get right into our first question. Um, so for the past many years, you have been actively working in the field of safe drinking water. You have actively worked on grounds. So can you share with us your experience and what is the ground reality of things?
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Shruthi, for having me here. And I really like the initiative and the conversation series that you have been organizing. So,
Thank you.
yeah. So there have been a lot of progress in terms of providing safe water to the people in the country. And I specifically work on the rural part. So I'll take you through the rural India, what is the situation there, how we have progressed so far. So currently, a lot of villages in the country have got tap water connection. Previously, they used to walk miles to the hand pumps to catch water, but now just they can just open the tap and have water. So they have now the basic human right of having the water at their doorsteps. And then the government is also working multi-dimensionally. They have opened a lot of water testing lab at the block level.
Okay.
Previously, we had very few labs at the district also, but now at the block level. So block is in a block there are several villages, and then in several blocks comprises of one district. So
Okay.
at the block level, they have the access to get their water tested in the government labs. So it's a multi-dimensional program that the government have implemented. And then there are and we aim to achieve by 2024 100% tap water connection in all the rural areas in India. So in terms, we are progressing a lot on the infrastructure side. So yeah, and then there's few things that I think we should need to work actively that we are lacking a bit, so that people are having water, and then if we have tap water connection, we tend to use it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because previously they used to walk, fill it in the buckets. So now they have the water, they'll use it more. So their awareness building on using it less, because we have a amount of water that we can use. So the government has a plan of source sustainability. Source sustainability is recharging the source from where the pipe water is supplied. So they have the plans, but I think we should work it simultaneously. Once the house has got a tap water connection, we should have a rainwater harvesting system for that source, or we could have more ponds to recharge. That should be implemented hand in hand. Currently, we have plan and we plan it to implement a little later.
Okay.
The first focus is to get the tap water connection, and then we plan to do the source sustainability. I think they should go hand in hand together. Let us recharge, let us give supply
Do
water.
you- On a policy level, there need to be changes that must be brought
That
in.
should be there. Yeah. Now there is in the guideline, but it's just written source sustainability should be there. There are funds allocated also under the 15th Finance Commission, water conservation, Manrega, but there is no
Okay.
direct directive of achieving 100% source sustainability. The plan
Can
is
you
to
take us
achieve.
through what actually it means about source sustainability for our viewers?
Yeah, so source sustainability means for example, we are fetching water from the ground. So we are taking out water, but we should the number of, like, suppose we are fetching out 100 liters. So at least 80 liters we should recharge it on everyday basis, so that on the longer term we have water to drink. We don't end up having no water. We have tap, but we don't have water. That condition should not come. Yeah. So we are
Got
lacking
it.
on that part.
Hmm.
And other thing is, we have tap water, and now there will be a lot of wastewater generated from them. So we don't have drains. In some villages we have drains. Some village we don't have pakka drain. So
Got it.
I think source sustainability and wastewater management should go, our
Hand
aim
in.
should have hand in hand. Not just, our aim should not be that we get 100% tap connection. We get drains, we get source sustainability. So I think we should work on that also.
So, so this is what you feel the reality is on ground per se,
On
and you
ground.
also said like these are per se these changes has to be brought in our initiative going forward.
Forward.
Um, Let me get straight because I want to really ask this question. So, in the introduction, I had given a slight prelude about Women Water Center. So, tell us about it. Our viewers would love to know regarding the initiative.
Yeah, so a Rainwater Center is a social enterprise. I would like to introduce my team also. So it is co-founded by me and my colleague Prashansha. She's a communication specialist and she has raised Banda campaign on water conservation. So she is also an enthusiast working tremendously on making people aware on the water quality issues. And it is being housed by Wash Solution. It's a consultancy based out of Lucknow. So, around a month ago, on 22nd March Water Day, we have started operating in Lucknow as the first initiative. So, we are trying to help people know about their water quality. So, we are doing this by two means. We are providing water quality testing at a very affordable price so that it is accessible by all. Like all
Oh,
low income people can also afford to book the test and know their water quality. So this is one initiative. Other is, so there are two things. I would ask you a question. So do you know how safe is your water? Have you thought of it?
I have to say, maybe I've never got it tested. Yeah.
Yeah. So that gap is there. The doctor always recommend you to first go and get it test your hemoglobin or your levels before suggesting any medicine. And then what we people do, we just buy any water filter that is there in our community. People use, we go by just that person has what RO, I'll get it. Now people are having UV, UF, but there is no ground behind choosing those water filters. Are we really need those? And it costs a lot of high O&M to
True.
maintain that on changing filters. So the main initiative is to know, first we should know the water quality, and then we help people to know, is their water safe? Do they know that the water has optimum number of nutrition that is required, magnesium, zinc, iron. So we are lacking in that. And then we
Oh,
also check the efficiency of your water filter. If you already have one, does it gives the water that it claims? Because it may need in every 3 months changing of filters, but we may do in 6 months. So that needs to be fixed. And then we help people to choose if they need a filter or they don't need a filter. So that is one point we are trying to bridge the gap of water and health. And the second one is we are doing rainwater harvesting in Lucknow. And then I would add up with why it is Women Water Center. So on the longer term, we plan to prepare more women leaders who can bring the change and also earn a livelihood from it. That is why I said it's a social enterprise.
okay. So you had mentioned in between that it's cost effective and fast.
Yeah.
So water testing. So can you take us through it? Like, what did you mean by saying it's cost effective, fast?
Yeah.
So how is
So
the testing done?
yeah, so for the testing, you can book, like you book Amazon parcel, you can just book on the website, go to our website, book the water quality testing service. Our sample collector will come to your house. So that is why it's fast, because people think I have to go to the lab, submit, I don't have time, Saturday, I'll go on Saturday. Then Saturday labs are shut or Sundays. So that way we are trying to pace up like 7 days. You can just book our service and we'll collect samples from your doorstep. And then we are using state-of-art technologies that are best in the world to test the water. So those are the faster ones, not the conventional ones. The conventional
Oh,
ones are bit needs more scientific testing measures, qualified chemist.
And then what is the next procedure? Once we know, okay, your water quality is this much per se, then what is the next step? Do you suggest recommendations like, this filter can be used or this can be done? So
Yeah,
how is it?
so the way I mentioned, once the report is done, then we ask people that, do you want the consultation? If it's already in the limit, then there's no point of consultation. If it's higher than the limit, then we have a small consultation session where we check, where we ask, what is the current situation? What filters are you using? And then we try to find out the problem behind it. And then we also see the health impacts. Are people having any disease in the home? So that we try to find the problem, what is there in their house and how we can resolve it. So that part is there. That way, I think we are trying to make a change.
Sorry to cut you. You are currently based out of Lucknow. So are people resolve is it still groundwater that they look forward to? What is their source of water, or is it they purchase water bottles for their everyday purposes? What is happening on ground?
So in Lucknow, the situation, it's better. Every day there's water supply for almost 4 to 8 hours. In morning there's 4 hours, evening, and it's a groundwater supply. But I belong from Rajasthan. So in my place, we have half an hour of water supply on an alternative base.
Half an hour?
Half an hour on alternative base we get, and it's just 5:15 to 5:45. If you miss it, then you have to get tankers. So we also did a study that in some places like Rajasthan, there's 100% cost recovery of the rainwater harvesting system because people invest on buying tankers, which cost rupees 800 for a tanker.
So do you think rainwater harvesting, like you mentioned, source sustainability could be one-stop answer to a lot of these problems, like you had clearly mentioned in the beginning? And regarding the rainwater harvesting, I have always had this doubt, like the water we harvest, is it like fit for drinking straight away? What happens once you harvest it?
Yeah. So we can surely drink the water because it is considered to be the purest form. We have been reading it from school, the rainwater is the purest form. But there's several considerations that we need to keep in mind. And then I would add up before, like there's a friend of mine. I drank her water for straight 3 years in the college, and it was rainwater harvested, which was chlorinated before drinking. And they purposely use it only for drinking. They could have used it for washing clothes also, but no, they wanted it to drink. And then they use the water supply for other purposes. So the concentration, like we can discuss few. So the number of acid rain have increased in the country. So if there is such cases, we cannot drink the harvest water, and we may use for the landscaping also. So whatever we are planning to reuse the harvested rain, first we should test it. It comes back to the point one.
Testing part again.
Testing part. And then there are several chances of contamination. So we need to keep our roofs clean. We should fix the leakages. So we have to be very mindful if we are using it for drinking water, because biological contamination can come from anywhere. So we can obviously drink it, but a lot of maintenance, and then we have to chlorinate, and then it's very easy. But we should be very careful while harvesting it for drinking.
I feel personally that a lot of focus need to be put on this topic, water management per se. I don't know if, it's much more initiatives must come forward in this regards, and a lot more research and talking and discussions. It's important. I'm so proud of the initiative that you and your team has put forward, and I wish you all the best in this regard. Before we conclude our live session, Shivon, when it comes to our everyday life, what are like simple yet effective measures that one can do, maybe in our homes, in our office space, in our lifestyle, to maybe pollute our water bodies less or conserve? I'm putting it very simple, so that utna simple measures, if you can.
Yeah. So I'll go with that simple measures only that we can just implement straight away. We don't have to invest much. It's just the thinking part that we have to do. So let's go first for conservation. So there's a water aerators that can be installed on the tap, and it just costs 200 to 300 bucks. You can just order from online and install it on all your taps, and it saves around 70% of the water consumption. So it mixes water with air, so the whole water does not come, and we need that small amount of water to wash hands or to do anything. So it's just a simple initiative that we could do.
Okay.
And the government in Bangalore is also recommending people to, they have been a campaign run to make people aware to use these water fixtures that could help to reduce the consumption.
So per se, when we decide a house or anything, it's better to go for water efficient fixtures.
Fixtures, go for low flushing process. So that way. And yeah.
No, please continue.
You could add from the building perspective.
I was curious because you mentioned conservation part. Regarding the pollution part, or the, like you had mentioned initially, that we don't look into grey water per se, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe in household, I don't know if there's an answer. One, you know, it need to be dealt on a government level and, you know, bigger answers. But any simple, you know, suggestions that you have in that regards?
So I feel that we also have we are also to be blamed for polluting more the water bodies, not just the government. Because let's take a simple example. Have you heard previously your parents complaining that there have been forming in Ganga or Yamuna? Like we recently saw form on the Yamuna, people were dipping. So why this happened suddenly in few years, like in the last decade or two? So this is because we are using more personal care products that are artificial and synthetic, like shampoos, creams, washing powders. So they have more of the synthetic content that pollutes the water bodies. And the quality of water bodies that they have self-cleansing capacity. So they can just treat their water while they're flowing. But if we add more synthetics and chemicals, they won't be able to do it. So on the personal part, we can go back to dahi, amla, shikagai, more of the natural things that we can just
cleaning
agents. If we don't have time for that, there are a lot of things coming up in the market for the biodegradable products, and we can minimize plastics because plastics generate microplastics in the water. And then it comes back to us in form of drinking water. A lot of research have come up on microplastic in drinking water. So those are the simple things that we can do, but we should do it. Yeah.
I know it's a huge topic to be dealt with in like 20, 30-minute session, but thank you so much for saying yes to me when I, you know, when I came forth and asked you for this live session. Thank you so much for joining, Shivon. And I wish you all the very best for your initiative.
Thank you, Shruthi. It was a pleasure for me to discuss with you anytime. Like, I'm always excited to have such conversation, and it's the learning ones that I learn from you, and then we build up together. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Shivon.
Okay.
Thank you to all our viewers. Stay tuned for more live sessions.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.